Welcome back to Team FastEddy. Today we're going to change our air filter on a Losi 5, and it's a good little tutorial if you don't know how to do that or you just want to watch. But we also this time have chosen to use from TGN the DT-1 replacement filters, both the outer, which is a dual stage. It's got a much thicker mesh on the outside and a thinner mesh on the inside, as well as the DT-1 replacement inner filter. So we're just going to change our air filter and use these parts and see how it goes here. Along with my filters, I also ordered some DT-1 filter cleaner, and when I ordered it I thought it was just a small can, but my God, there's enough here to last a lifetime. It's really nice to see product like this at such an inexpensive price being sold in bulk, which is nice. And then I also, along with that, got the DT-1 Super Seal Foam Filter Oil. Again, it's in a huge bottle. I am not going to show you how to use this because we're putting on a clean filter. And also, to my surprise, found out that the filters that you buy from TGN, the DT-1 replacements, are already oiled, which is kind of nice too. As I open these up, the only thing I can say about it is that it does have an adult-proof latch on it. Not child-proof, but adult-proof. So that's pretty cool. So we'll use these at a later date and maybe do a review on them. But I did pick those up. The price is right, and they're huge cans. This one's fresh off the track, and we've been using the outerwears, which is always nice to have, so we're going to pull our outerwears off. We're going to wash this off in water and let it dry out, or I might even try the DT-1 cleaner on it, but I know water works really well on the outerwears, which you can also pick up, and they are definitely worth their weight in gold. First thing that we're going to do, you can see that the filter itself is dirty. It is really dirty, and that's off of one race at our track. We have a very dusty track. So we're going to remove the pins and take off the front plate here. As you can see, one of the tricks that we use when we use the stock filter is that we put a really thick grease around the edges so that the dirt gets trapped there rather than going inside, which is something that you can do. It is a bit messy. We use the Team FastEddy dog bone and transmission grease, but you can use any really thick grease. We're going to go ahead and remove the outer filter. You can see how dirty that is. It's actually dirty on the inside too. It's been pretty darn dusty out there. And then we have the inner filter here, which you can see is also dirty. So to remove that, we're going to swing this around, and there, I'm not sure if you can see it well or not, but there's a little tab here that you're going to want to press in, and it releases the two halves on your filter. I'm going to spin that around. You can see that it just comes right off like so. So we're going to take that off. Going to go ahead and slide the bottom portion off. You can see that there's a lot of dirt and dust in there. And then we're going to go ahead and remove the stock inner filter, and you can see again that we used the grease on the inside of that. So we're going to pull those off, and then we're going to also pull off the center portion here. And this is what you want to inspect inside here to make sure that it's not got a lot of dirt in there. And this one actually does not have any dirt in there. There's a little bit of oil drip at the bottom, which is normal. However, there is no dirt or grime in there, which is something you're going to want to check every time you change your filter, just to make sure it's working properly. I'm going to shut my choke. That just keeps anything from getting in there while I work on my carb with it being open like that. What I'm going to do is go clean off the pieces that I just took off. I'm going to use some of the DT cleaner on this and see if it's going to get all the grease and debris off. So we're going to go clean these up and get them nice and sparkly, and we'll be right back. Okay, we got all of our parts cleaned up. I am going to have to say that I'm an instant believer in the DT-1. Come back over here and grab it off my bench. The DT-1 cleaner. This stuff right here. Put the lid back on. The adult-proof lid. This Super Seal filter cleaner. It works. I'm thoroughly amazed and an instant believer in it. I just put a little bit in a metal tub and used a toothbrush, and these things came clean in an instant. With the Team FastEddy dog bone grease, that's really, we've been fighting that stuff for years on trying to figure out a good chemical to clean it with. Kind of smells like turpentine or paint thinner or something, but it says that it's eco-friendly on there, so you know, be it what it is. Okay, so I'm a believer. All of our parts are cleaned up. We're ready to put it back together. First thing that we're going to do is to make sure that our O-ring is still on there and is in good shape. And we used a clean rag. We cleaned up all around our filter, inside of our filter holder area, just to make sure that's all contaminant free. We're going to go ahead and slide this little puppy back on, twist it around until it seals properly. It does go on one way. There's little reliefs in here, and those reliefs have to go around the screws. So when you put that on, you have to make sure that that's in the proper position so there's no gap. We're going to grab our DT-1 inner filter, and that inner filter is very simply just going to slide right over that. I've always been a firm believer in being safe rather than sorry, and as I say that, I'm going to use some Team FastEddy dog bone grease, and I am going to put some on the inside flat area here to seal that off, just in case anything does happen to get through. That's the only place that air can go through the filter and not get trapped by it. So we're going to just put some of that grease on there to make sure that we're safe. This is optional, but highly recommended. I mean, we are using the Team FastEddy dog bone and transmission grease. You want a nice thick layer on there, just like so. I'm going to find a rag, wipe my fingers off because they're all greasy now. We're going to slide this over, and when you put that on, I like to rotate it around just to grease it up and make sure that that grease acts like a glue on there. At this point, we're going to go ahead and put our filter holder back on. And it slides on like so. You can swing it around to make it a little easier to work on. Get our second portion here, and again, there's clips on here, and the clips have to line up with the hole on this side. So we'll put that one on. Push it together until it clamps and it's secure. Make sure that the center filter is all nice and centered in there, which it is. There's that grease that they use is pretty nice too. It's not too thick, the DT-1 oil that they use. Now, normally, as we did on our old filter, we would put some grease around there. However, looking at the DT-1 filter is very interesting because it has a gasket that goes around here. And the gasket has absorbed the oil from the DT-1 oil that they used when they on the filter oil. So it's a little bit sticky. So I'm not going to put the Team FastEddy grease around the outside and the inside on this like I normally would. So what we're going to do at this point is go ahead and slide the dual stage outer filter over, and we're going to make sure that it's firmly seated inside of the container all the way around. We're just going to work it in until it's on. And then we're going to take our cap, which is something I forgot to wash. So I'll be right back. I'm going to go wash this off. Shouldn't take long with that DT cleaner, and I'll be right back. I might be sounding like a pimp, but I'm going to tell you that DT-1 cleaner is the shit. I mean, it's incredible. Usually it takes forever with soap and water and rags to try to get all the grease off of this. It took me 1 minute to wash this off with DT-1 and then rinse it with water. Just that easy. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to place the center cap back on. I'm just going to put this around so it's easy to line up the holes. And again, the dual stage sticks out a little further than the stock one, which I like. And we're going to align up this gasket with the groove that's on the inside here. It may happen right away, may not. It's not. What we're going to do is go ahead and put this on. We're going to use our clips. Put our clips on. And then we're going to keep spinning this around and see how it's kind of sticking out a little bit here. We're going to go ahead and get that in and make sure that it's seated down in both the front and the back here as we go around. There we go. We now have installed our dual stage filter. I'm going to go do one more test with this wonderful DT-1. I'm going to see how well it works on an outerwears, because we do get a lot of grease and stuff on the inside of those from the filter grease, and we do want this to be as clean as possible. So I'll be right back. I'm going to see if it works. Well, here I am back again as Mr. Pimp. It cleaned my outerwears. I thought it would melt it or something, but it didn't. And soap and water just has never gotten it this clean before. So whatever that stuff is, I'm sold. I'm a firm believer. Let's make sure that our pins are actually pushed sideways so that they lay against the housing. We're going to go ahead and put our outerwears back on, which sometimes is easier sometimes than others. There we go. Spin it around, make sure that our elastic is all good on there, and we're set to go. So again, we use the DTN inner filter, which comes pre-oiled. We use the DTN dual stage outer filter, which is also pre-oiled on the inner one. And we use DT cleaner and an outerwears. So we want to thank you for stopping by Team FastEddy. All of the product is available through TGN or TGN distributors, and it is DT-1. You can find all of our tutorials at teamfasteddy.com or on YouTube at youtube.com/teamfasteddy. If you're looking for some help or you want to find where I hang out, come on over to rclargescale.com, which is a forum, and there's a whole bunch of great information located over there. People like myself and many of the other manufacturers go there daily to answer questions just for you. So thanks for stopping by, Team FastEddy. I'm going to go hit the track.